Hey, this is Matt. Welcome back to the channel, guys, where I'm going to be sharing with you all about my hair transplant repair surgery or hairline correction surgery that I have done 1 year ago. I'm going to be sharing with you why it had to be done, what was wrong with the old hairline, and how it was all done. Okay, before we start with the video, as always, this video has been brought to you by GoFiber, which are hair building fibers you can use to mask any thinning areas on your scalp in order to make the hair on the scalp look darker, thicker, and better looking. So make sure you check out the link in the description below where you can visit GoFiber, get a free sample of your choice, and try them out, see if you like them. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Happy to see you, all of you. Some of you guys probably already noticed over the last year, pretty much the whole 2020, that my frontal hairline was a little bit thinner, and that's because some of the grafts had been removed from the hairline at the very beginning of 2020. I didn't share it online, but now the time finally came. Now, as far as hair transplant correction surgeries, there are like three main types. The number one is the type that I got, where there are grafts, there are improperly placed either on the hairline, usually here on the hairline temporal transition, and they have to be removed because the angles are wrong, because the direction is off, and so on. The second type of the repair surgery could be like FUT scar repair, when the FUT scar is very big, it's very wide, and there needs to be some repair done, maybe place some additional graft into the scar via FUE and so on. And the third type of hair transplant repair or correction could be if the transplanted graft during the first hair transplant did not grow properly, due to maybe placing too many grafts, follicles at 1 square centimeter. Some grafts didn't survive, and maybe there were some technical errors that the doctors made, and the grafts didn't grow like 100%. So that would be another time for a correction. Now, in my case, it was the first type when the grafts were placed improperly. And let's start with the whole story from the back in 2017 when I got my first hair transplant. It was at Elite Hair Transplant, and it was, I think these are the photos, I think it was like 4.5 month mark, I believe, and here you can see me. I was ecstatic with the growth, because suddenly I had this new hairline and I was like, man, I'm loving this. It's so thick, it's so dense, and I just did some screenshots for you here so we can see. So we can see how this hairline is just full suddenly, and I was loving that. And here when I'm combing the hair, it was, I believe, 5th month mark. Now, I'm gonna zoom into that hairline, guys, and you will be able to spot some things which should not be spotted in a natural looking hairline. For example, the frontal hairline, we see some doubles, even triple grafts. I think this one was even triple here. There were also some more doubles here. These are the follicular units producing 2 and more hairs. Also here you can see a double consisting out of, this one is also thicker. We see double here, it's very robust. Another double. This one is even maybe like triple. It's very thick. You see, it's very the diameter is very, very large, and that's why also here these are all very robust looking grafts. Now, some of you may think like, yeah, it's not the full result because it's just 5 months and some of the grafts will probably still sprout, and maybe these will be like single grafts and finer looking grafts, and the end result will not be that, unnatural. Yeah, unfortunately, many grafts did not grow on the hairline since the 5th month mark, and some of you guys who already got a hair transplant will probably know that after the 5th to 6th month mark, usually no new growth will appear on the hairline, maybe like 10%, 15% more, but not much really. So again, I could go on with that. We see doubles also very in the in the very start of the hairline. I mean, I could go on with that. So that was the thing that I wasn't noticing as much at first, because I was like, wow, that hair is full, I can style it, it looks good, my face is framed better, I look younger, and this was my overall feeling, you know, I was really happy. Now the issue started appearing when I let that hair grow longer, and I wanted to experiment a little bit and try to do this undercut, and I styled it like this, and you can see like, wow, your hairline is actually pretty full, it looks really good, man. And many of you guys commented like, man, you turned into like another human being and something like that. I was like, okay, cool. So in this video I was obviously explaining like how I got my undercut after my hair transplant and what were the challenges. And obviously from the front you would tell like, wow, this hairline looks great, it looks full, I cannot see through the hair, man, it looks amazing. Okay, I'm showing the hairline here. Okay, it doesn't look that bad actually. Okay, although there are many multiple follicular units still placed in the hairline, and I was already kind of complaining about this here. This is the part which really started to annoy me after a while when I wanted to do this undercut and maybe go short on sides. This part, guys, normally should grow like this on a temple. The hair should grow something like that. Okay, the direction of growth should be like that, and maybe the hair should start going like that, like on the temple usually goes. Also, the angles should be very, you know, tight, very acute angles. They shouldn't be so deviated from the scalp, as you can see here on this portion. As you see here, not only the angles are way too much like deviated from the scalp, from the surface of my temple, but they're also kind of facing here. They're facing forward. They're not really being directed like this, you know, and that kind of restricted me from maybe slicking that hair back. Normally, this hair on the temple, you should be able to slick that hair back like here, like I'm doing it here with that hair on top. It should go like that, but I am not able to do it. I wasn't able to do it, and that really was annoying me, especially if you let that hair grow longer, it's trouble, you know. So you want to keep that hair shorter, rather shorter, because when it's longer, it can really give you some troubles. Now, I was lucky because I also have very fine hair, and I believe that if you have very, very fine hair and the doctor kind of messes it up in terms of, you know, the angulation, maybe the angles are way too high, either on the hairline or on the reconnection with the temple and hairline with the transition, then if the hair is soft, you could get away with maybe masking it better, camouflaging it better, but be careful if you are a guy with very thick diameter, with above average hair shaft thickness, because then if these thick hair shafts start lengthening and the angulation is off as well as the direction of that hair, man, you will have to trim that very, very short, because you will have like these horns almost kind of growing out of your temples, which is really bad. Here again, you can see that hair is thicker and the directions are off, and not only the directions are off, also the angles are way too high. And here you can see how the hair should naturally grow on the sides and on the temple, and that's it's not matching. Maybe they're framing the forehead better, yes, but they're really like destroying this homogeneity of that hairline, of these transitions from the temple to the hairline and so on. So here's what I did in 2020. I went to Switzerland, to Hattingen Hair, to Dr. Sever and Laura Muresanu, and what they did, they extracted, I would say 50 grafts from my right temple and also from the right portion of the hairline, and I believe over 70 or 80 from the left portion. The left portion was even worse. You can see it here. The left portion, you can see so many punches. They were punched out because there were so many multiples, and they told me that I had even like literally one quadruple graft somewhere close to the hairline also, which had to be removed. As you can see, some of these doubles, like this one still remain there. I still have them, and they will have to be also removed sooner or later, but there is not so many of them anymore. Maybe like 4. Maybe I'm gonna find another one somewhere, maybe this one also. So yeah, there are some still wiry looking grafts, but not as many as they used to be. Okay, so ideally, if you want to, you know, have them removed, and then, you know, you want to have some new hair implanted on that area in a natural way, in the proper direction and in the proper angulation. Before you do that, you want to remove these poorly placed grafts. You don't want to start implanting like ahead of that or somewhere in between. It's not going to be natural. You have to get rid of that, like almost all of that poorly placed grafting. Okay, so that's what we decided to do, and it healed very fast. By the way, I received some like balm or some type of lotion, and I was using that for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks I didn't have any scar. Literally, I have no scar. I really didn't have no scars after like 3-4 weeks, I guess. I'm going to show you some photos as well. This is the frontal hairline. As you can see here, some of these multiples were also removed from the hairline, especially the left side, but the right side also. As you can see here, these grafts were removed from there. Now, for all you guys who are asking like, hey Matt, where did these 120 grafts then go? Well, good that you ask. I think there is another picture where they show how they implanted them. They implanted them on my mid-scalp here, on the area where I was thinning. I was also on finasteride by that time. I decided to have it implanted in this way because I was like, well, if I keep on receding further, at least I want to have the left side a little bit stronger, so when the hair grows longer, I can comb it over, okay? I can comb it over like this and create a better illusion of coverage on my transplanted hair, and do it like this. Even if the right portion from here will be thinned out, I can comb it over. And I really prefer to have at least like a partial coverage on the mid scalp than no coverage whatsoever. And my priorities were always the frontal third, the mid scalp, and even if the crown starts receding later and I won't be able to keep up with that or whatever, you know, the medication will not be as effective in preserving that crown hair or hair on the vertex area, then I'm gonna be also fine with that vertex. These grafts are so bad, sometimes they can even grow again. Even if the doctor removes a triple graft from the hairline, it can happen that a single or double graft will still grow there, or some hair will still grow there. Really, that's what Dr. Muresanu also explained me, that by that removal, you really need to, you know, do multiple sessions, or if you don't want to reuse these grafts anymore, you unfortunately have to laser them out. It's gonna work, obviously. You can use the laser, but you cannot use these follicles to re-implant them somewhere else on the mid-scalp or crown where you may need them more. So that's what I preferred much rather, and I will much rather do it in multiple sessions and use these grafts for another areas instead of using the laser, getting rid of them completely, but then not be able to reuse them. If I show you the left temple right now, you'll probably not be able to see any scarring, any, you know, holes after the previous punching. It just looks much more softer. Probably some doubles are still here, but they're not so many, probably less than 10 or maybe less than 5, I don't know. It's probably this side which has still, okay, let me focus better. It's this side which has slightly more of them, but again, it's not so bad anymore. And if we take a look at the photo in the low right corner, we will see the first previous hairline from 2017 without any repair. And then if you take a look at left bottom corner, you can see my hairline already, you know, more refined, but also more thinned out because it was kind of robbed off of that robustness, which was created by these doubles and triple grafts, which are placed on the hairline. Obviously, they create more unnaturalness on the hairline, but they also contribute to that thick and dense looking result. And that's why many cheap clinics like to utilize doubles and triples on the hairline to produce that illusion of better density, because it's easier to implant 20, 30 double or triple grafts on the hairline than it is 60 single grafts. They are able to do it faster and it looks like thicker, but again, it's not the most natural thing to do. So this is again the difference. That's why many guys were commenting like, Matt, what's going on with your frontal hairline? It's thinning, it looks like it's diffusely thinning, and it's been like that for the whole 2020. And at the end of 2020 I decided to have a third hair transplant. It was just a minor hair transplant, less than 1,000 grafts, which was focused on adding strength, density to not only the hairline but also behind the hairline, maybe to support, to add more support to the frontal forelock with some doubles and triples, and also recreate the temples a little bit and also mask these areas here on the corners and kind of bring the temples a little bit more. And this is also how my hair looked like, for example, in summer 2020 after these grafts had been removed. And really, if we zoom in on the hairline from here, you cannot see as many doubles and triples here. Now, of course, we can still see spots, some multiple grafts, like double here, also here, but this is nothing bad, really. This is nothing what a skilled hair transplant surgeon couldn't mask by, transplanting singles in this zone. And that's exactly what we did with my later hair transplant in 2020, my latest hair transplant, better said, and we pretty much transplanted singles on all of these areas to mask all this. And yeah, that's pretty much my actual situation. As far as the results from my third hair transplant, I'm gonna be sharing with you some more details about it in my next video, so it's gonna make sense, the repair, step 1, and then the implantation of new grafts, step 2, during the second session, because that's how it's usually done. If the grafts are being removed from the hairline, you cannot transplant new grafts, during the same session, on these areas, because they are not healed. There are holes punched in these areas, so you have to wait for a while until you can do the transplantation there. Now, how much you have to wait depends, on how your skin heals. For somebody it can be a month, for somebody it can be 2 months, but I would say that my skin really looked fine already after a month or so since the initial removal of these grafts. So I think that would be probably more or less the period, which probably would be enough to wait. But consult it with your hair transplant doctor, obviously, if you have this similar situation as well. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say and share with you for this video. As I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you visit my free Facebook group, Hair Transplant Experiences, with over 2,400 members in the group. Make sure you check out mattdominance.com, which is a website is meant to guide you throughout your hair transplant research, providing you many guides on how to research your hair transplant properly, list of recommended hair transplant doctors in Turkey, worldwide, and also FAQs on hair transplants. These are all my guides that I can provide you there. Also my free ebook, 5 things I wished I had known before my hair transplant. You can check out all of these things on mattdominance.com. If you go to mattdominance.com/mentoring, you can even sign up for a one-on-one consultation with me. I call it Hair Transplant Strategy Session. It's because I help guys during their hair transplant research with this consultation and initial consultation and additional follow-ups via email or WhatsApp with my clients who I directly kind of accompany throughout their hair transplant research, and help them evaluate different quotes, help them, assist them with selection of the right doctor, right strategy, providing my opinion, my unbiased opinion on what they should do, what I would do in their situation, and so on and so on. So that's pretty much it. Check it out, and I'm gonna see you in another video.